Smile to death. Let me arrange my hair properly because this is a very important video. Smile to Death, chapter 11. Hello again. Each chapter you watch and or experience and or involved in means that you have the courage and the curiosity and the special mind to travel into this ambiguous yet very important space. So it's good to have people like you here, people with special kind of mind that can watch or assess reality from many points of view and have some spiritual knowledge, innate, inborn, how to say, natural spiritual orientation towards everything, or at least towards reality. I guess this is who you are. Of course you are more than this, but these properties enable us to do something together regarding this topic, Smile to Death. Smile to Death is just a way, it's just a bridge, it's just, I would say, a subject that enables us to take a closer look, to use our brain, to combine logic and intuition in one of the most important things in our life, which usually is also mostly neglected and denied. Not because it is such a reason to be afraid of, but it is something that is embedded in our culture. And I believe it is time to change it. So, Chapter 11 is the second in part 4 that says there is a story behind the story that we see. Chapter 10 discussed the fact, or my view of what I believe is the fact that life and death are actually two intertwined spaces that nurture each other continuously. And this state of mind is really in contrast to the common state of mind that we have this, big wall and there's no connection. There's no real, ongoing, important connection between this space and the other space. I'm saying there is always a connection. Everything here is related to there. And if you, for example, say things like, well, the universe was responsible for this special coincidence. If you say a sentence like this, or if you accept coincidence from a spiritual point of view and says, well, there is some intervention that's going on here, well, I believe this is just a part of the ongoing mutual nurturing between these two spaces. So, chapter 11 talks about infinity, endlessness, the sense of infinity, something that doesn't end, that has no limits, no borders, no boundaries. So infinity is something that is very known to us, and from there we came to a special space where we seek for freedom inside boundaries. Life is a place that has boundaries, has limitations. We know it. We have many limitations. And at the same time, we ask for freedom inside those limitations, inside those boundaries. I guess that this continuous, lifelong search for what we believe is freedom, another word we need to dive into and not just accept its usual meaning. But nevertheless, I'm saying that we came from a place with no boundaries, infinity. I'm saying this is home, and over there infinity is not something that is hard to grasp or to acknowledge or to be in or to live in. But when we're talking from this point here, a place that is built from so many limitations, it is almost impossible for us to experience, to define, to relate to infinity. And I'm saying this is a very, very important example of the story behind the story that we see, and also the connection between the stories. I'm saying that knowing or experiencing the fact that we are infinite is important for our daily lives. This is how death and life are very much connected. It's not just a dreadful thing that happens in the end of life. I don't think there is anything dreadful over there, just what we created from this drama. I'm saying there is a very important connection. And I'm saying that our quest for freedom is actually nurtured by some memories from home. Some memories or feelings or experiences or inner knowing of who I really am. I am infinite. But still here, I have these limitations. I have this body. I have this house. I have this country. I have many problems, many limitations. And my job here, while I'm trying to grow, to heal, to get better, to improve, to succeed, to connect, is to expand my freedom inside the boundaries. Or, in other words, also, to take a close look at my current boundaries and ask myself, in these boundaries, serve my purpose for greater freedom. Sometimes we accept boundaries, workplace, relationships, place of living, etc., that do not serve our need to connect with this infinity inside us. This way, we get further, we become remote, ignorant for this truth that life and death connect, and we are spiritual and physical at the same time. So, once we manage to improve the interplay between our boundaries and our freedom, once we manage to create for ourselves the proper boundaries, because this life is about the play between boundaries and freedom, we should pay attention to our boundaries so they will enable, they will support our growth and our quest to get closer to our infinite nature. You see the relationship between the two places? We come here, we become human, and our job here as human is to get as close as possible as human to our other shape as non-human. While we do it, we grow. While we do it, we heal. While we do it, our eyes open. While we do it, we become happier. We become more tolerant to people. Our compassion is getting better. Our empathy is getting better. We become less suspicious, less violent. We become more creative, and many other rewards. Once we manage to create for ourselves the right space, the right atmosphere, the right environment in which the proper boundaries that we live in or with enable us to get more freedom inside them. And once we do it, we create a better connection with the other side. Because once we feel this freedom, we also feel our origin. And I think this is the source for most experiences that we feel that they are joyful, that they are pleasure, that they make us very being happy. My English sometimes, sometimes I'm not that fluent, but this is me here. Me speaking English. You should hear me in Hebrew. It's a bit different. It's like I'm a different person. Nevertheless, close the parentheses. The story behind the story. We are there infinite. We can be also infinite here, and this is our job. And when we do it, we connect to the other story, and then the two stories can work together. And for us to do it, let me remind you, we begin with smiling to death, saying, hello, I'm there, I know you're there, and you're also here. I'm smiling, so we can be connected and not separated.